Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Alicia and today we're doing our week 1 check-in. I almost forgot what video we are doing right now because I've kind of been all over the place today, but let's go ahead and get into it. I already have our expenses written down. Since it's our first week's check-in, you guys probably already know it's gonna be longer than usually because we got a lot of ground to cover. So let's just do our weekly check-in first. And if you guys did not know, or if you guys are new to my channel, hello. We are a family of 5. We have our baby she's an infant. She is turning 7 months old, which is wild. It's me, my husband, and then we have a golden retriever and a German shepherd. So that is who we're budgeting for. And we are also cashless budgeters, so we do not use cash at all. We just mainly use credit card for everything, and that's just been what's working for us for years now. Has there ever been a time that we were heavily reliant on cash? I don't think so. I think it's always been that just utilizing credit cards has just been easy. I think it has mainly to do because we just don't go to the bank and we always forget to carry cash, or we don't have enough cash. And of course, the perks of having the rewards for credit cards and it helping us build our credit is very awesome. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But yeah, so that is what our financial picture looks like currently. So we are in April checking in it is going to be for 4 weeks. Since I never really use the 5th week, even if it makes sense, I just don't use 5 weeks. I think it has to do with just not being able to fit them all on the sheets. But in general, I feel like it helps out more with just having 4 weeks, because you guys might know that sometimes I am just not the best with videos. Alright, so this is down, and I love this washi so much. I know I say that in every single video so far when it comes to this April spread, but I love that seashell pattern a lot. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I'm hoping I didn't miscalculate, but I need 5 lines for each one because I have 5 categories to check in for, and those categories are the ones that we did budget for at the beginning of April. It is our day-to-day expenses, or if you guys use a hybrid of cash and credit cards too, or cash and electronic in general, these would be our cash envelopes that we would take out every single month. Since all of our bills are electronically paid or auto paid or something like that, I don't think I would ever take this out to pay for bills. So this is what we are first weekly checking in for. This is the ones that we weekly check in for in general. So that is what this spread is for. And I also have a new pen. This is a new pen that I bought on Amazon, and I'm going to try to link it below. These are those pens. These are from Amazon. They're called Piloting Morandi Gel Ink Pens from Zenith. I think these might be my favorite pens overall. I'm pretty sure these are my new favorite pens ever, but I ordered the one that comes with the 5 colors. So they come like this, and they're gel pens. They are 0.5 mm, and I just they're so nice. If I remember to, I will definitely link it below if you guys are curious about the pen I use, because I know I always forget to mention what pen I use. So that is the first line. And if you guys have watched my results video for the previous month of March, you guys will know that I am going to be rolling over $200 for our groceries, because we barely spent any money on groceries last month, and we do have to get groceries for sure, grocery shop at some point this month. And we do grocery shop a lot at Costco as well, so Costco can definitely add up. I've been looking for Costco mochi. It's black sesame paste and red bean flavored ice cream mochis. I know it's available in Costco's on the West Coast, but I really I'm dying for those to come over here already so I can eat them. We're gonna go ahead and lay down these page flags because I didn't really know what else to put on this side over here. So there is some page flags. Right before I'm filming this video, I tried to film a video on like kind of like how we started budgeting for our family, how like our financial background, like when we got started, how we got started, all that stuff, and it just did not work out. So that video, maybe down the line I'll try again, but it did not work out successfully. I feel like I was talking in circles, so I'm a little tired right now and out of, not breath, but like my voice is tired. But yeah, so if I sound funny, I do apologize. I don't use week 5, so this is now done since I don't use them, and we're gonna go ahead and figure out which weeks we're accounting for. So the first week is gonna be from the 1st to the 8th, since I do like just line by line, 1st to the 8th. Okay, so we have the 1st to the 8th, 9th to the 15th, 16th to the 22nd, and then the 23rd to the 30th. And those are all of the ones here. Then of course we have our 5 categories, which are the ones that we just talked about. So we have eating out, groceries, gas allowance, and pubs and bean. The only thing about this, I feel like it does write like a lot thicker. Like this is 0.4, this one's 0.5, but it's just the aesthetics of it, I just can't get over it. So maybe I'll use this to write numbers, and I'll use my normal Pentel Energel Clenna in 0.4 mm to write the wording. I don't know, I think I'm having an obsession with pens at the moment, but let us check in for the week. As always, I'm going to use our daily budget app. This is the app that I use to kind of like day-to-day track our transactions, and I will have a video linked below that talks about these apps more in depth. But this is where I'm pulling all the numbers from. So if we scroll down to the 1st, since we're checking in from the 1st to the 8th, we'll be checking in. So for example, the 1st, we have the Costco, which is a grocery cart. I use that to mark groceries. And then this little star, if you guys have watched my last week's check-in video, I added that category to symbolize our vacation. So we do have to add that in here for our vacation, and I'll just put this right at the bottom. So we do have like a longer key this month. But that is essentially where I'm getting the different categories from. The apps that I use, I really like them because I don't have to link them to my bank accounts. I don't know what it is. I just don't like linking apps to my bank account. So I much prefer these simple ones where I can just enter in the money or the amounts myself. But the first thing that we got on the 1st was Lighthouse. We got Lighthouse again, and it was $99. It was very expensive, but it's so good. I don't even know what it's called, but it's like short ribs. There's like the tofu spicy soup, the right. It's just so good. It's so good. Oh my gosh, I'm getting really hungry thinking about it right now. But I gotta move on. The next thing that we had this day was we just got groceries. Groceries was $72 because this was like our first actual grocery shopping, and of course it's in a new month. Besides that, the next thing was on Sunday. On Sunday we went to Philadelphia because it was like a I guess the best way to say it is like a Chinese holiday where we go to the cemetery to show appreciation and everything to the dead. I don't know how to explain it. I'm gonna try to not cut out everything that I just said because I really am trying to be better at being open on camera. I don't know. I feel like I cut a lot of stuff out because like I feel nervous to open up to judgment, if that makes sense. Okay, so this is for gas. We got gas this day twice, but I'm combining them and it comes out to $39 for gas this day. Trying to do better with lining this up, but yes, that was $39 for the Philly trip. And then we also ate out. I don't know why I forgot to mark like what this was for, because I just have it as eating out. I forgot to mark what we ended up getting. I'm assuming it has to be cheesesteaks is what we got, because Dustin loves cheesesteaks from Prince's on Castor. If you guys are in Philly, that's like our favorite spot over there. So family meal is the last thing that we spent, and that was a sinking fund category because we paid for the meal for our family. what am I doing? This is in sinking funds because we paid for the meal for our family. It was just really nice. It's just been so long. Seeing them was really weird because like they're so old now. That's so odd to say. All of my cousins are grown up. I didn't even recognize one of them. It's just, the feeling is just, it was just very warm. It's very nice. But yeah, so for this day, we have family meal, and this was from our gifts and treating. Gifts and treating category, this was on 4/2/23, and the amount was $232. There was a lot of them. It was like a total of like 12-14 people, but we just went to Saigon, which is like a pho place. It could have been a lot more, but that is what the price was. And we'll just say Philly family meal. Yeah, we'll just do Philly family meal. But that is what that looks like. Now to go and keep going. Oh, this is actually another sinking fund amount, but this was on the 3rd. It was for the medical. We paid for one of Beanie's hospital bills, so we'll just do medical. And this was on 4/3/23. The amount was $44, and this was for her Bean's medical bill. Nothing was spent on the 4th. Then on the 5th, we had another household category. This was for Bean's category. So do I have it as Bean or do I have it as baby? I have it as baby in here. So let me change this to baby. Bean is what we call our daughter. This is her nickname. It's also her middle name actually. But oh my god, I just wrote Bean again. Okay, so baby, and this was on the 5th, 23. The amount we spent was $37, and what we got was a toys for her and a booster. This is a booster to take like on the go when we go out. I don't know if we'll actually keep it or not because I still need to test it, but when we put it on a chair, it looks very unsturdy, so I'm not really sure. We might end up returning this. And it looks like the rest of the days, these are the house icon is what I use to symbolize sinking funds, and it looks like all of them were sinking funds. So another one was on 4/6, and this was from household. The amount for this was $22, and this was for tape, like masking tape and stuff. This is gonna be a long video if I keep messing up like this, but tape, masking tape, and also for pregnancy tests. And the reason why I got a pregnancy test is because I wasn't feeling well. I was cramping like nonstop. But usually when I cramp, I get my period. And I wasn't getting my period. So I still have yet to get my period. But it's negative. But that's why we ended up getting a pregnancy test. And then on 4/7/23, we did have a car maintenance category. And for this car maintenance category, it was $77. And this was for tire air. And it was for an oil change too, so I'll just write oil change. This was the longest thing ever. So my husband went to Pepco to get it done, and it was 3 hours. Tell me why it was 3 hours. He had an appointment as well, but it was still 3 hours. Like, I was actually really mad. I was really annoyed, not gonna lie. But 8th, we didn't spend anything. On the 9th, we did have a couple more expenses as well, but I'm realizing the 9th is now the following week. So it looks like we spent a lot from sinking funds, but we barely spent anything from our actual weekly account, which is kind of weird. I'm not gonna lie, that's really weird. I think a big reason why is because, I don't know, I'm actually not sure. Okay, so let me lay down these none spent stickers. These are what I use to indicate the days that no money was spent, because it just looks nice to have a monthly view spread that's full of them. I think the one that I have the most so far is for January. Like, look at all those none spent. It's very satisfying. Okay, none spent. I might have to break at some point to go eat because my stomach is trying to say hi to you guys. Now let's actually do the weekly check-in portion. For rolling over, you guys already know we are rolling over $200 from the previous month. And then the rest of it, we do not roll over, so that those are all going to be blank. Now let's talk about what we spent. So we know gas was one. That was $39, and that was the only day we got gas. So let's write that in. Then we have eating out groceries, which was only one as well, and that was $72. And then last but not least, we have 2 vacation expenses, and this was $99 for Lighthouse plus $42 for takeout. So that combined equals to $41 that was spent, and that is all of our expenses for the week. Oh, and that's right, for our vacation amounts, we're just going to deduct it in here because last month we added and transferred $1,500 from our savings to our primary checking account, so we're able to spend and enjoy our vacation. So let's see how much we had left from that. So we had a vacation budget of $1,500 that was taken from one of the buckets. We spent last month $1,118. We had a remaining amount of, there should not be a comma there. We had a remaining amount of $382. So let's write that. Vacation leftovers was $382. And of course, the last bit that we ended up spending was that 42 plus 99. That means it's minus 141. So in total, 382 minus 141 equals $241 left over. So that $241, we're probably going to just go ahead and transfer back into our savings account. And we'll have to talk about that next as well. But yeah, so those are now accounted for too. The reason why I don't check them in here is because the vacation category is like abnormal because we never have that category, but I thought that would be the best to be able to incorporate it into my budget because these are the categories that we always have. Every single month we have the same ones. Of course, we can always change them, but those are what works for us. We also have a set budget as well every single month. So if you guys have watched my budget 2, you guys will know that we set this up together for a certain amount to be our budget every single month, since we budgeted to have an income of $5,200 every single month because we're trying to do like a zero based. Whatever goes over the $5,200, we either like save for ourselves or we go put it into savings, but we underestimate it to be able to have this as our budget. If you guys are curious about those videos, I definitely have videos on those as well, in case you guys are like, what are you talking about? But going back, that's why we had the vacation leftovers put into our primary checking, since this is the one that we always deduct from to pay our credit card anyway. And as I mentioned before, we only use credit cards. So I'm hoping that that makes sense. I know that this check-in is very different from other ones, just like last week's check-in for week 4 of March. It's only because of that whole vacation category. It's thrown off quite a bit, but those are those categories. Nothing else was spent from the other ones. So that means for eating out, since nothing was spent, our total that we still have is $300. For groceries, we had a budgeted amount of $400, but we rolled over $200. And I know we spent $72, but I'm still gonna put $400. That was the budgeted amount. And the reason why is because I don't want it to affect our ending numbers, since this was rolled over. So now our starting amount for next week, I wrote all the categories down again: eating out, groceries, gas allowance, and pups, is going to be that $200 minus the $72 equals $128. The reason why is because I want to use up the rollover money first, but I don't want it to affect our numbers, because if we end up calculating that into here, let's say we use up the 200 plus the 400, in my calculations at the end, it's gonna think that we spent $200 like over budget because we only have 400 budgeted in here and we don't have that additional money. So the $400 that we budgeted for the month is still untouched. Next, we have gas. We had $125 to start with. We spent $39, which means we still have $86 left over for gas. Then we have our allowance and pups and bean, $75, $100. Nothing was spent for these, so those are still the same at $75 and $100. Now, this is checked in for those day-to-day expenses. Now let's go ahead and move on to budgeting and calculating out our checking accounts. So this is my weekly balance spread. This is what I use to balance out that weekly checking account. I need to take a nap after this. I feel drowsy. This is the spread that I use to balance out the checking account, because like I have all the different categories in here, which we'll talk about together. And if I don't balance it out, it's very easy for it to become, it's very easy for there to be a discrepancy. And if there is, it's very hard to figure out what the discrepancy is, because there's so many different accounts and categories in there. But we're going to go ahead and lay this out just like the previous weeks. We're going to lay it out with 5 spaces in between, just so it kind of like looks very cohesive with the other side. And I think before I continue this, no, I'm going to try to finish this video. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And by the way, oh my God, what a stressful thing for today. Our daughter, she's never thrown up before. She's never even like spit up or anything, right? But for today, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, she threw up so much. She threw up like a grown man, or well, a grown girl, grown woman, grown baby. But she threw up so much, and it scared the bejeebers out of me. Like, I've never seen so much. Oh my God, it was so much. Like, how was that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? How is that all in her little body? So we called the pediatrician. They were saying that it's normal, it can happen, just to keep an eye. As long as she like drinks milk later, she should be fine and won't be dehydrated. But I'm like, how am I supposed to not panic right now? Oh my God, my poor baby. Like, she didn't even cry or anything. She was just like very calm. You could tell that she wasn't feeling well, because she was just very cuddly. I love her so much, and she really worried me. Right now she's sleeping, and Dustin's keeping an eye on her and sleeping, well, not sleeping, but like hanging out right next to her, just to make sure she stays okay and she doesn't like throw up while she naps. But that really happened earlier today, and it scared me so much. Alright, so those look good. I still have this last washi and stuff left over, but I'm just going to, since I have this washi, let me just line the variable income with it, and then this sheet will be done. But I'll just line this one since I have it. Okay, so that looks good. Now for the weekly check-in. Let me do the lines real quick and I'll be right back. Okay, so I have all of the lines down for the weekly balance. Now for our weekly balance, this is what we use to calculate our second checking account. So of course, our second checking account, you guys definitely don't have to do it like this. It's just, since we are all electronic, we have to be able to budget it out to make sure it is calculated correctly. In this checking account, we hold all the funds for our day-to-day expenses, which is like, I call it the monthly budget, our bills, and our sinking funds. The day-to-day expenses, as you guys know, is these 5. All of our bills are down here, and of course our sinking funds, which is in a different spread. So let's calculate what we should have started with. And now I'm realizing this is probably like an additional part I should have did in the results video. I just feel like the results video is so long. Yeah, I forgot to do the transfer in the results video, but let's actually just do that real quick. So let me give you guys the real numbers real quick first. Okay, I have these 2 leftover big boxes. There's still one more actually. But I have these big boxes on here. These are from just a leftover sheet that I have. And I'm just going to put these here because we're going to do some calculations. This is like, I don't need that anymore. But I'm going to put these numbers on the side so you guys can still see the previous numbers from the last time we calculated this, which was in our results video. But let's calculate this together. Last time we checked in, this was the amount that was in our short-term savings. Let me check what it is now, because it should be more. Yes, so we got 2 additional paychecks. So as you guys can see, for our paychecks, we both transfer $1,300 per paycheck to this savings account. We got 2 additional paychecks, which means the number in here is $5,688.17 plus the first paycheck, which is 1,300, plus the second paycheck, which is 1300, and this is the current amount that's in our savings account, 8,288.17. So that's perfect. So I'm gonna put this to the side. This is our current number in here. Now to talk about this account and what it should be. Okay, so this is why I kind of wish I did this earlier in the results video, the whole transfer, but some bills did come out already. So this number is slightly less because the bills already got auto paid out of this account. But to make our lives easier, I'm gonna pretend that they did not come out just for this part right here. So this is the amount that's currently in that second checking account. And we need to transfer $5,200 from our savings account to our second checking account because that is our budget for the month, which is $5,200. Like, so 1,000 for our day-to-day expenses, 1,050 for our sinky funds, ally, bills, all of that combined equals 5,200, and that is our budget. And we are doing zero based. So that means 5,200 needs to get transferred over to this account. That means this account is now 9,178. And of course, this is $5,000 less. So that means this is 3,088.17. So I'm gonna go ahead and transfer that $5,200 real quick from short-term savings to reserve accounts. Okay, so that looks good. And the reason why we always have the funds at the beginning is because we always are a month ahead. So for example, for April, this is the month of April, all of the bills, paycheck 1, 2, 3, 4, all of the paychecks that come in for the month of April is going to be our budget for May. So once May starts, we already have all the funds ready and available. How we started doing this was, I believe we had one of our tax returns and we kind of just pulled a little bit of money from savings as well to have all of the money that we would need for the previous month's budget. But yeah, and it's been working amazing. Like, I love doing it this way. Now that we have that set and these are good, we also have to, let me remove this because this is now incorrect. We also have to do a quick transfer. We have Ally, we are transferring $100 to savings. So let's just do that real quick. Ally, $100 is to savings. And there's some other things I have to talk about too, but we'll save these for a second. Today is the 15th. really, really bad. Oh, and the account that we're going to transfer this into, let's put this into emergencies. So that is $100. And the account that we're transferring this to, let's put this in emergencies. And the amount is, of course, 100. And this is what we budgeted for April. $100 goes to Ally. And this savings tracker is how we track our Ally bank accounts. So we'll just say April savings, I guess. I don't know if that's really accurate because we're going to be saving more than this for this month, but it's fine. So $100 plus what we had previously was this 8,000 number. So that is now $8,179.93. So now that we did that, we have to transfer $100 to our savings. This is now going to be $100 less, $9,078, because $100 got transferred into our primary checking. And this primary checking is what we use to transfer out. It transfers to our credit card. It transfers, like if we write a check, if we do a wire transfer, a Giselle transfer, anything like that, it's outgoing funds. We put it in here so we can forget about it. So if Ally decides to take well, today is the weekend, so it's not going to go out until like Tuesday. But if we do the transfer today, it's fine. It's not going to mess with the budget. I won't think that there's money in there when there's not. It's just really nice to have this account because I put money in here to pay a credit card, to do a transfer, and then I just forget about it because if the institution takes a little while to do it, then it's cool with me because it won't be in the way of anything. So that is what those accounts look like. This first weekly check-in is always so heavy. I need to figure out a way to make it smoother because I feel like the first weekly check-ins are always so extremely long, and it's just double the time. Honestly, I'll have to figure it out. But anyway, so talking about our savings tracker, there's a few things I wanted to talk to you guys about. One of them was our vacation amount. When we set this up together, we put it as 3,000, and that's not correct. It's actually 1,500 because of our vacation. And then there's two other things that I wanted to put in here with you guys as well that I forgot to mention in our results video. And both of them were regarding our Savopoly, how much we saved, and of course how much we had results for. So the results, this was in the results video we did together, $370.19 is what we have to transfer to Ally. And we're gonna put this in emergencies as well. So of course, previous number 8179.93 plus the 370.19 equals 8,550.12. Okay, that looks good. That is what that amount is for this emergencies account, because we're transferring it to this bucket directly. And if you guys, just a brief overview, Ally, you're able to split it up into different categories and buckets. I mean, like, well, honestly, even if we didn't have Ally and I wanted to break it up into different sections like this, I would just keep track of it here and then just add up the total, which should be what is in that account. But that is what this looks like. And then, of course, last but not least, we have our Savopoly. Our Savopoly, we have to take from a category. So it's actually a good thing that we're doing Savopoly first before we balance out our account. But for Savopoly, we did not transfer this yet, but we rolled to save $317. So we need to take that from somewhere. Where should we take that from? $317. I'm going to take it from from a couple of our sinking funds. I think clothes will be one of them because this has $400 in here. So clothes, let's actually take $200 from clothes, and then the remaining $117 we'll take out of car maintenance. So I'll do clothes and car maintenance is where we're gonna save that money for Savopoly. Savopoly. So those were the rolls for last month. I'll say March, so I don't get confused. These are the March rolls. All right, so we'll calculate for these as well. So we're going to have to transfer a total of 200 plus 117. That is $317 that we're going to transfer to our Savopoly savings. Wait, where am I? Why am I in March right now? But we're going to transfer 317 to our Savopoly account. That means Savopoly is a different account, so that's why it's different. These two are emergency bucket. This one is Savopoly. We had 826.04 at the beginning of the month. That plus 317. That equals now in Savopoly is $1,143.04. That is how much is in Savopoly. So that is what these numbers look like so far. And after doing this, you know what, for sure, there's gonna probably be a results video for April, but then a pre-setup video for May. That is what's going to happen, because this video is now like, it's going to end up being like an hour long that I have to cut down and save myself hassle. And also to make these videos smoother, I'm going to have a pre-setup video for May. To do all this like beginning stuff. But all right, so now that this is good, now let's finally check in. Let's go ahead and check in. Finally check in for the month of April. Okay, we are checking in for our weekly balance, and of course we have the names monthly. So we have the names monthly budget, bills, sinking funds, which are these three, 1, 2, 3, and then the starting amount we have is, starting for the monthly budget, day-to-day expenses, these 5 categories, the total is $1,000 that we're starting with. For bills, we have a total of $3,150, which is the addition of all of our variable estimations and all of our fixed amounts. So these two numbers added up that we need for bills is $3,150 that we're starting with. And then of course our sinking funds broken down is these categories. So we are starting with $3,708 plus $950. That equals $4,702. that we're starting with for the month of April. So adding this up together is 1,000 plus 3,150 plus 4,728 equals 8,878. But there's also this rollover amount of $200 that is not in the calculation. So that is $9,078. So that matches up. But I think I might have to put rollover because of that 200, because I want it to match. I need this to match 9,078, or like the budget's gonna get all messed up. So let's just do $200 and we'll name this rollover. So yeah, we'll just do it like that. Let's just see how it goes, because I've never rolled over money before. So let's just see how this works for us. But now, meanwhile, let's do these calculations real quick. So let's just do our day-to-day expenses, our budget categories. We have $39 that was spent. $39 that was spent. Rollover is, as we can see from the 200, we spent $72. I might not roll over anything ever again. Okay, so bills and sinking funds. Let's actually do sinking funds first because we have so many sinking funds. Let's go ahead and add all of these up. I'm gonna do a check mark so I visually can see these were already calculated. We have 232 plus 44 plus 37 plus 22 plus 77 plus 200 plus 117. That equals $729. And that's how much that was spent for bills, our sinking funds, $729. Now, last but not least is our bills. Let's calculate how much came out for bills. So I know for sure, we already know that like some came out of our second checking account already. So let me check our credit card and our checking account to see which ones came out of where. Okay, so these are all the bills that came out so far. I ended up adding the C's because I forgot to add them, but C's just indicate that they came out of credit card. We'll talk about that later, but we had our mobile that came out, we had our student loans, Netflix, HBO, and HOA. So adding together 174.77 plus 180.06 plus 180.31 plus 10.59 plus 8.66, 16.95. That equals $643.34 that came out for our bills. So I'm just gonna mark them off now because no other bills came out anyway, so I don't have to remember to differentiate. All right, so that's the number. Now let's finally do the final calculation. We're almost done. 1,000, we spent $39. That means we have $961 remaining for the first category. Second one is bills. For bills, we started with $3,150 minus $643.34. We have a remaining of $2,506.66 for all the remaining bills that has to come out. Then for sinking funds, we had $4,728 minus $729 means that we have $3,999 left over for our sinking funds, and of course rollover. Roller, we had 200, that minus 72 equals 128 remaining for the rollover amounts for groceries. So before we add this up together, let's go ahead and do our last transfers. We pay with credit card for absolutely everything. So of course, our day-to-day expenses came out of credit card, sinking funds came out of credit card, rollover came out of credit card. But the only thing that varies is our bills. So for bills, only some of them came out of credit card. Only our Netflix and HBO came out of credit card. Everything else came out of this checking account because that's what the funds are automatically taken out of. So because these numbers came out of checking account, like for example, our mobile, that institution already took out the funds from this account. So we don't have this money anymore. But for the ones that came out of credit card, we have to pay the credit card. So we still have that money and we owe our credit card for paying these bills for us so we can get the 2% cash back. So the only money that we have to transfer for bills are those that paid with credit card, since of course checking account ones, we don't have the money anymore. So it looks like it's just Netflix and HBO that we have to pay our credit card, since those are the only two that came out of credit card. So $10.59 plus HBO, $16.95. That equals $27.54. So that $27.54 is the only money that we have to transfer from our account to our primary, so we can go and use this to pay our credit card. And again, it's the weekend, so it probably won't take out of our account until like Tuesday or Wednesday, but it's fine. That account, I don't really pay attention to it. So the $27.54, let's just add everything to do everything together. We already know like that was the only exception. All the other three accounts, we have to pay our credit card. So the 39 plus 39 plus 729 plus 72 equals $867.54 that we have to transfer from our second checking to our primary to pay our credit card. And this is also money that we get 2% cash back on. So this is like $1,000 is $20 that we get cash back on. So that's kind of like why we really like it. Okay, so that is now transferred. So let me tell you guys the amount that's currently in here now. So this savings account still looks good. This is still accurate. Of course, nothing else was moved, but these have now changed. Okay, I just gave you guys a number to the wrong account, but the total that's in our second checking account is $7,694.66. So that is how much that's in here currently, right now, as of this second. Let's go ahead and add these up to see if they match. 961 plus 2506.66 plus 3 nines plus 128 equals 7,594.66. I was like, why don't they match? But I realized, even though I was talking about it earlier, the $100 for Ally, yeah, I forgot to transfer it over. Even though I said I transferred over, I thought I would remember to transfer it over along with this budget, but I didn't. So let me just transfer that $100 over real quick and then it'll match. Now that I actually transferred over that $100 that we budgeted for the month, now it matches, which is great. And this is the part that I love the most, is when the numbers match. So that matches to the T. So this is exactly what we have in both of these accounts. This checking account, this savings account, they're matched perfectly. So now we won't go back to this until next week's check-in. Last but not least, the thing that we do at the end of every weekly check-in is we go and do our Savopoly rolls. So let's do our 3 Savopoly rolls for this week. I might have to cut down on rolls because we've been rolling so much money, but we're gonna go ahead and go to our little dice app that we have. This is like the free dice app that I found from the App Store. Our little piece is over here, a little hat. Let's roll 3 times. This is 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, say 15. I dodged a bullet. Look at that. So 15. And then let's roll again. This is 8. This whole year so far, when I pass go, I don't collect $10. I just save an additional $10. But I think because we've been saving so much and rolling so high, I'm actually going to collect $10, which means instead of saving $15, I'll save $5 instead. But let's roll that 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is $6. But since we collected $10, that's minus 10. So that's $10 less that we save, but plus the $6 for the second roll. Now let's roll again. That is another 6. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It says roll and save that amount. So we're gonna roll and save $5. So plus 5, that is $16 that we are saving for week 1. That is a very nice considering how high it used to be. But week 1 is 16. All right, and this is also transferred, so that's good. Let's actually calculate this. How much? 826.04 plus 317. I just want to calculate this real quick. So in Savopoly, we have $1,143.04. Alright, so let's go ahead and wrap up this video, and that's actually it. There's nothing else to wrap up, but that is it for this video. I hope you guys still enjoyed it. Week 1 check-ins, results videos, those are always like my roughest videos, but I'm going to separate it up into a third video. I think that's what will help me a lot, especially with editing, especially with like the flow of the video. I'm going to separate it into one more video for like a setup, a pre-setup before the budget. I think that's what I'm gonna do. Let's see how it works. I'm gonna be doing that for May, so you guys will see that coming in May. But I hope you guys still enjoyed the video nonetheless. Thank you guys so much as always for tuning in. Hopefully I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.